What's up, and welcome to the Boys of Fall Week 7 edition. We are back. The gang is back. The boys are back. What was I going to say? Oh, first off here, if you guys do me a favor, like it. If you follow either of us on X, I am streaming directly on Twitter, X. Do me a favor, retweet that, comment on it, like it, or something like that. Let's continue to kind of keep the algorithm up. What's up, Trent? Long time no see. Anyhow, I was off yesterday. Just Ty kind of held it down here. I had myself a fun time in Vegas. Ty, do you have you got a recap or anything to say about last week?
Yeah, let me just say this. Some of you guys are going to be like, terrible week last week. And I know. And let me tell you why I know. It's because you've never felt the way I felt having to walk into my barbershop, who was watching this last week when I got smoked. I think they took the money lines. And first thing I had to address, was that. And then I had to trust, my barber Buffa to cut my hair. The trust there. I know you don't have that issue.
Yeah.
But I trusted another man to cut my hair when I had a terrible week the week before. So I promised today would be a better day. And here's what I will say. In October, look, we're sports bettors. There's one thing that we look at, and that's trends. So this entire month, I've had a insane day, bad day. Insane day, bad day. Guess what yesterday was? Bad day. Bad day. So if we're going on trends, that can only mean one thing. Today's a good day.
Yep.
Also, I slept at the office last night. Refused to go home until the work was done. Today's going to be a good day. As you can see, my shirt's wrinkled. It's a mess. So let's lock in.
We of course you stopped talking. I was trying to put a message out in the Discord. But we what's up, Miles? This is my cousin, I do believe. But what was I gonna say? Okay, so yeah, so I mean we're 2-3 days ago, it was like 49 straight days of football. We're about 46 days in, I think, at this point, or whatever. These Tuesday, Wednesday games, tough, rough. It is nice to have football, but boy, these are tough games. Conference USA, we'll get some action, later on, which certainly makes things a little easier. Max a little easier handicap, I think. Friday, I mean, nearly 100 points scored in that North Texas and USF game, and these are the top two teams in the conference. And gosh, I thought there'd be some defense. 7 turnovers, just some wonky stuff going on, and obviously that's what they say. They're betting on the kids. Some variation in that and stuff. And I think you see it more in basketball. It's, they had they had to stay up late for a test or something. They had 2 games in a row. College football is a little different. College football is a little more serious than college basketball, in my opinion. But all right. We've got game starting in 2 hours. Got a full slate. Obviously, we've got some day games here during the week. So I imagine we got a little bit of a lesser slate, but obviously we're talking, 8 games, 9 games, something like that. Shout out Ty, actually, real fast. If you don't follow Ty or in the Discord, on Twitter, or on social media, Ty's starting to do the helmet breaks. And if you're unfamiliar with that, I think it's awesome. I mean, it is. I wasn't say it's a risk, taking a risk to hope that you get pulled or whatever, but Ty's pulled some. Yeah, he showed it off. I know before. Ty pulled a $1,700 helmet you sold it for, right?
Yeah. The Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, yep. Patrick Mahomes. They're full-size authentic. Thank you for doing that. But yeah, it was crazy. First pool that we had yesterday was a Barry Sanders on the Hawaiian blue.
That's what that first helmet was? I was wondering, and then we started watching that Ed Gein documentary or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good luck with that, dude. I mean, that is just disgusting. You Midwestern folks, there's something wrong with you. He's from Wisconsin. That's your people.
That's not me.
I don't know.
A whole different accent.
You're all polite until, and very, very nice until you start making chairs out of people's skin.
But anyway, I think Ty probably trying to do that fairly regularly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like just the like we pulled yesterday. The last one that I pulled was a Matt White Jaguars Tank Bigsby. So not the greatest signature, but if you're gonna get a Jaguars helmet for it to be Matt White is pretty sick.
Yeah, right.
So
that Barry Sanders though, that's all. That's pretty.
a huge
That's
hit.
all.
It's
That's
like
awesome.
$1,000 helmet.
Yeah, and then somebody paid just $60 for it.
60, yep, $60.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Ty, I was gonna make a post in Discord real fast. I forgot to. You want to go ahead and kick us off?
Yeah, I will kick us off. So listen, let's just get right into it. I owe the Gallery Barbershop winners today. I promised I'd do it, so I locked in. Stayed at the office, slept on the couch. Rough sleep. I'm on 3 hours of sleep right now. This is rough, but the work was done. All right. So I hate taking these big games, but I have to do it. We're going to go to Mizzou versus Alabama. I'm sure Jort's on it too. Jort loves these big games. That's like why perfect yin and yang. I'll find that crap in the MAC. He'll find the big games. But there's two plays I liked here. I'll throw them both out there. But the main play is Mizzou plus 3.5. There's two reasons why. The first one, Bo Prabula. Dog. All right. I have to go with this kid because to me, when I watch him play, it's Penn State at this point. It has to be Penn State for me. I have to dream and be like what it could have been. But it's not. Secondly, here's the biggest thing. Alabama ranks like 82nd, I think, in the country in run defense. Guess who runs for like 230 plus yards a game? Mizzou. This is in Mizzou. Alabama, I don't care what you say. I understand what they did to Vanderbilt last week. And that's the thing. What do I always say? They stole my money, so now we need to spin the block and go get our money back. Alabama stole money from us. We had Vanderbilt plus 14.5. They're up by 12 with 23 seconds left. No reason to score. Guess what they go do? Score. That's not going to fly here. I need to go collect. So, Mizzou plus 3.5. They're at home. This is a dog live on the money line that is barking. I'm telling you. And I also like their team total over 23.5. I think that gets it in your play.
Yeah.
Let's roll it.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, not a whole lot to add, to be honest. There's just not a lot to say with it, I think. But, I mean, SEC football, Mizzou averages 45 points per game, Bama 36. I like the over. I think when I wrote it up, it was at 51.5. It's at 52.5. So, I mean, money's going on that side. So, I mean, siding with the money, whatever. I don't know where the quote-unquote sharps are sitting at. I don't usually pay a lot of attention to that. I think, Ty's talking about his boy there for Missouri. I really like Ty Simpson. I think he's a good quarterback. I think this man's proven to be one of the best, to be honest, in the nation. And both these teams do have good defenses, but it does feel like that traditional SEC shootout. We had, what was it, Georgia and Tennessee. People were expecting the under, and there was like 20 points in the first quarter or something. I don't know if it's going to be quite that explosive, but Missouri does run the ball well. Alabama does a lot of things well. But Alabama, I feel, does lack that like disruptive presence on defense to be able to kind of cause issues with Missouri's offense. Missouri's still riding high. They're coming in this game thinking that they're going to win. They're at home. So it's one of those. And I always say, if you like the dog, you like points. Over 52.5, I think is I think it's a great. I mean, of course, I'd like 48.5, but I mean, it's a low number. I think we're cruising, and hopefully we're looking at like 30 high 30s points in the first half, and we're just and a close game will have us there. Obviously, this could be one of those. Honestly, this looks like a 2 overtime kind of game. I mean, this could be one of the best games on board, I think.
And it stinks. It's so early.
Yeah. It is early.
It stinks. But look, this is the best slate, I think. I think it's even better than week 4. I think that this slate's awesome.
There's some good games. There's some bad games.
Oklahoma, Indiana, Oregon, Alabama, Mizzou. Like, there's just some games. And these games mean a lot. But let's get into it. You know I love my overs. Overs only. Self-proclaimed president of that said club. And I went back and forth here. 5 a.m., I texted you Tennessee team total. I woke up, epiphany. Boom. No, it's got to be the Hogs. Has to be the Hogs. Ooh, pig suey. We're going to go with Arkansas team total over 27.5. And here's why. This Tennessee team, while they can score a lot of points, this is a look-ahead spot for them. And what I mean by that is that they have Alabama on deck next week. Arkansas going through a coaching change, right? Sort of. The man is back that spilled his bike, wore a neck brace. All right, he's back. Tennessee gave up 34 at Mississippi State, 24 to UAB. Georgia scored 44. Syracuse found 25. I just think that off a bye week with a look-ahead spot for Tennessee, this is a great opportunity for Arkansas to find themselves some points. Okay? So, sure, Arkansas got steamrolled by Notre Dame. Absolutely steamrolled. They scored 13. Well, they can't do any worse than that. They're going to be able to find points today up against this Tennessee defense. And this Tennessee offense is going to be able to find points also. I just think that this is going to be one of those barn burners, man. Lots of points. I just feel I'm going to go with the lower team coming off the bye that does not have a look ahead. They're totally focused on Tennessee.
So I've been playing this game too. It wasn't going to be on my next one, but we might as well stay on it. And I don't know if you see my face or not, but I do. I respect Ty. I've been talking to Ty for a long time. Me and Ty have never actually met in person, but I've known Ty for like 3 or 4 years, something like that. To where, he was just starting out trying to share plays and whatnot, and then we went away from each other, but still always picked each other's brains. And I'm sitting here with a Tennessee minus 10.5, and he's got me thinking. He's saying some really good things. But what he said,
not trying to deter you from what you're saying, though.
That's all right. But what you did was you opened my eyes a bit, because I did forget that Tennessee has a look-ahead spot. And what usually happens, and what I would do as a coach, is I want to come out early. I want to come out hard in the first quarter, the first half. I want to pour it on so we can let off the gas in the rest of the game. So I have transitioned here. You've seen that my wheels turning. We're going to ride Tennessee first half minus 6.5. I think is a good spot here. I do think Arkansas moves the ball. I think, though, we watched Notre Dame methodically move the ball on them. And we've seen Notre Dame. Honestly, that's the best Notre Dame looked. And did Notre Dame figure it out? No, because they didn't look all that great last week. I think it was who they were playing. I do like Arkansas's quarterback a lot. I forget. Is it Taylor or something like that? Or Taylor.
I don't even know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, it's Green is his last name, and I can get that. But I mean, I got the notes here. I had, though, Arkansas's defense is just not good. We watched Notre Dame fly all over it. Tennessee, has that explosive offense. Going to be able to score essentially at will. And then after looking at what Notre Dame did, I think Tennessee probably has a stronger offense. And then that being said, with the fact that they do have that look ahead in this spot, you usually do see teams wanting to come out faster, stronger in the first quarter, stronger in the first half, and then kind of coast to where we run into that backdoor cover potentially, or they end up kind of playing an, oh shit, we got to put together a drive or two, or we got to try to run the clock out in the fourth quarter kind of thing to shorten this game so we get out of here with no injuries. So I like the first half, Tennessee first half minus 6.5, minus 120, something like that. So juice isn't bad on it. So a good, widely available, I'd imagine, but I see it on, whatever. What? Oh, Arkansas.
No.
Yeah, Tennessee.
So I'm on Arkansas team total, full game. He's on Tennessee first half, -6.5.
Yeah.
So, and we're both essentially saying the same thing. While I like Tennessee to find those points, it is one of those situations where it's like it is a look ahead. So at some point, you will see these. Usually, teams will kind of fall flat at some point, and that falls into the fact that they've been looking ahead and circling on their schedule the Alabama game coming up. And I wasn't trying to deter you from coming off of that.
No,
Okay.
you weren't.
All right.
No, but I like listening to you. I'm like, you know what? I was looking, and I'm like, what's the first half number? Under a touchdown? God, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah. No, I like it a lot.
Because they got that at what, 10.5 full game?
It's come down from 12.5 since last night.
Yeah, see, so then that hook, there's still that hook there, though, over that key number. Right. So I like how you can get that first half under a key number.
Yeah, I like that a lot, for sure.
So let's stay on team totals. And I hate this. I mean, I like this one a lot, but there's a reason why I dislike it is because I like to look for the alts, right? I like to pull it down maybe by the hook so we are below a key number. And they're not letting us do that in this game, which is, to me, is a huge alarm. So usually, for example, we're going to be on UNLV. UNLV's team total is 35.5. I went yesterday, tried to move it to 34.5, and it was -162. That's from -115 to -162. That is not normal. You're just going, I understand you're going through a key number, but it's that big of a jump it'll usually be like 145. It'll be below 150. So the fact it was sitting above that, set alarm bells off. Here's the thing. Air Force, I don't think that they even practice on defense, if I'm being honest.
Right.
They say, hey, 11 warm bodies, get out there, do your best, and hit the guy with the ball. Navy put up 34, which here's why I understand that is below 35.5. But here's what's important is that these are academy teams. They are running the triple option. That game was 31-34, which tells me that this was not your normal academy game where it's slow and methodical because they're running triple options. They're picking up 3 yards a play. They go for it on 4th down. No, Navy scored 34. Hawaii scored 44 on the road. Boise State 49, Utah State 49. All right. UNLV, while they have not been covering, we don't need them to cover. We just need them to go score points. 31 up against a good Wyoming defense in Wyoming. 41 against Miami, Ohio. 30 against UCLA. All right. 38 against Sam Houston. And then we all remember 38 against Idaho State. This isn't so much a play on UNLV's offense as it is a play on Air Force's defense. I think that they're going to find 38 to 42 points here. We're going to UNLV team total over 35.5. Now, if you can move it to that 34.5 and it's below -150, please take that.
I was just about to look one more time. And sometimes it's like where, it's -155 on DraftKings.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally not normal.
Unless you want to run like a, my style, like a juice reducer kind of thing.
Right.
Throw
them together.
Like Notre Dame money line minus, 2,500, which, obviously is risky, but it could get it more realistically, like a -130, -125 or something like that.
Or you could throw Penn State versus UCLA -24.5. There you go. Okay. So last night they did not have it on FanDuel. They did not have it on. They just had the regular one. So there you go. Thank you, Chris. Take it at FanDuel at 34.5. Get it underneath that key number. I'm begging you guys. I think that they score over the 35.5, but if you got to get it below a key number. That's important. So if you don't mind eating the juice, like I don't, I always try and keep it -150 and below. Go ahead and take that.
There you go. All right. Let me go back up to this next one. Talking about big games, maybe one of the biggest rivalries. Talking the Red River. What do they call it? Showdown, right? Red River Showdown.
Yeah, it used to be shootout.
Shootout. It's at I want to scroll to here because it moved last. So 44.5. This has come down too. Or this has moved. I had it 45.5. I don't care what it is. I like the over, and I think that I also do like Texas in this one too. The last time Arch was on the big screen or whatever, boy, he looked bad in that first game. I feel like this could be his breakout game. And then that's why I potentially like the over here too. Over 44.5. Let me see here. So I had some stats written down here, and obviously like history repeats itself. It's college football. These are completely different teams, but you are just kind of talking rivalry. I talked about like the iron skillet between SMU and TCU on the over, and I do believe that hit, as that's another, generally high flying one. Over this point total in 9 of the last 10 matchups. Since 2010, they've been over this in all but 3. Since 2010, over in every game that Texas was the home team. I know that we have 2 good defenses, and we could certainly see some disappointment if we had some stalled drives, but I think that Manning does kind of have his coming out party in what is going to be his biggest game. You can look at even last year, it was 34-3. There was just no contribution on one side. But then 34-30, 49-0, 55-48, 53-45, 34-27, 39-27, 48-45. The list goes on and on. Like I said, I went back to 2010, just looking at it. You see a lot of overs in this. These are 2 very good offenses. I suppose I do worry a little bit. They've got John Mateer listed. They've got props listed for him. He had surgery on his throwing hand 2 weeks ago. What if he takes the shot? What if he does get hurt for whatever reason? But he's back and ready to rock. This one could be sweaty. I don't think this is we're looking great at halftime, but it could be a great third quarter kind of thing, or it's a close fourth quarter where you have some back and forth at the end of the game. Some thriller kind of type stuff that we have here in this traditional type matchup where we've got a touchdown and somebody else has got a minute and a half to go down. They score as well, force a field goal at the end, and that puts us over or something like that. So 44.5 on the over for Oklahoma versus Texas is my, what's that, third play now? I like it.
My turn?
Yeah.
All right. We're on a lot of the same games today, so I might as well. Well, actually, I'll keep that one for last. All right. At some point, one of 2 things need to happen. Penn State either shows up or James Franklin gets walked out the back door to a group of dudes with brass knuckles ready to roll. I have a hard time, just like I would have had a hard time visualizing what I saw last week, but I witnessed it with my own eyes. If I didn't see it, I would have think everyone's lying to me. Penn State is going to go out and cover today. I know, sounds crazy, but here's the best thing. If you would have found this game, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, before they played Oregon, or even after they played Oregon, I would imagine that this is probably set at 31.5, right? So nothing's changed except they got beat by UCLA on the road, where just so happened to be that they wanted to show up and start playing for this, 26-year-old or however old he is. Penn State will cover today. Franklin is a cover machine. He has not covered once this year. There is no better time than right now. Penn State they have to. It's homecoming. They have to look good today. If they burn me today, I've already decided I'm not a fan for the rest of the year, unless they make the playoffs. I no longer care what happens to the program, but if they don't cover today, I'm probably going to burn this stuff. Everything I own, can't do it anymore. It's disgusting. This is Northwestern we're talking about. This is a journalism school. Right? Mike Green went there from ESPN. This is not a football school. They play on water. Go out there and handle business. Cover. Penn State minus 20.5. Again, it's 21.5. Move it to 20.5. Not messing around. They cover the 21.5. This is gonna be a 4-touchdown game. I think this is like a 42-3. Penn State.
It's a good number. Make sure you guys line shop too. Like, I mean, I get it all the time. People like on, they're married to FanDuel, but DraftKings. Like I was just looking, Tennessee -6.5 is -118. It's much better than DraftKings. Whatever. So just make sure you guys are looking. Because most importantly, this plays into my play. I wanted to see that I wasn't giving out a play that had too much juice or whatever here, because I didn't want to make it feel like I was taking advantage or whatever. But my next one, got a kid crying at the door.
You want to go check him?
No, they're fine. It's not bloody murder, so he's fine. Okay. Oregon -6.5. It is better on DraftKings because DraftKings does set lines to even. They have the line at 7. FanDuel has it at 7.5. I do feel Oregon has a chance to win this pretty handedly, but I certainly, just as a smart gambler, it makes sense to stay away from that hook. So if you don't want to mess with the alternate, which is only -130 at DraftKings, -6.5, take it at least at the -7, so you have the push potential. Boy, I think I just love Oregon. Maybe I'm just and look, I'm a Hoosier myself. I like IU until they're playing a team that I would rather bet on. I've bet on IU plenty of times. I, of course, think IU's good. I think Oregon is better. I think that Oregon at home, which doesn't play as big of a factor, but it is going to be a pretty rowdy crowd. That coach of theirs just gets everybody going. And I just honestly don't think IU has the dudes to hang with Oregon, at least to keep it within, it's not going to be a blowout, but I don't think IU scares Oregon. IU could go up 10-0 in the beginning, or it could be tied at half or something like that. But I don't think IU scares Oregon, in my opinion. So we're going to take Oregon under a touchdown at the 6.5, or at the very least take it at DraftKings at -7 if you don't want to mess with that little bit of juice in the -130. But I am an Oregon fan, at least today. And honestly, like, just for whatever reason, I've just been loving them. They also make me a lot of money.
Hoosiers. Listen, this is not a bet at all. I need Indiana
because of Penn State.
The only path, Penn State's path has to be here.
Yeah.
Starts with Indiana, ends with Ohio State, but our dreams are already over. But as a dumb fan, that's the only option I have. Yeah, North Texas cooked me.
Yeah, everybody.
They have 4 turnovers in like 4 minutes.
They had a lot of the 8 or so in the game.
Yeah, very cool of them to do that. Yeah.
Oh, turnovers.
All right,
last play.
Move on to my final one. We're gonna do something. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to Michigan versus USC. I think you also like this game too. We like it in different spots.
Yeah.
Here's why. Michigan loves to give up points when teams get in the red zone. Lincoln Riley has an explosive offense, but there's a few things you can count on in life, and one of them is USC overs. I understand Michigan's got a good defense, but I think they're going to be able to attack, vertically down the field, and when they get in the red zone, Michigan has a tough time preventing points. But USC's last 8 home games, the average total scored is 70. All right.
Sheesh.
So I really like where this number's at. I know it's going down, which is fine. I like the over. I think it might have been, what did I send it to you? Let's see what it was.
I have it pulled up right now. It's 56.
55. I bet 50. Okay. 56.
Just where I'm looking. I'm sure it's back and forth. Yeah. I'm sure that's out there somewhere.
55.5, 56.5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take that. Okay. I'll probably take it at 55.5, bring it below 56. But I think that this game goes over. I know it's been trending down, which is fine, right? Because Michigan, everyone sees that. And it's just like, oh, defense. But no, this is at home for USC. And Jaden Maaba is playing really well, especially, when he's under pressure. So I like this team to be able to find success against Michigan. And there's going to be a lot of points.
What did I say earlier? If you like the dog, you like points. So me and Ty's got something cooking independently of each other. By the way, I send my plays and I wake up in the morning and his plays are there. We don't talk about it.
Yep.
All right. So this is a spot though, like you got to kind of search around. So this is another opportunity where it's reversed. Michigan by the points at plus 3.5. It's minus 128 on FanDuel. On DraftKings, it's actually minus 150. So some pretty big variance between the two books. Those are my, that's my wheelhouse, those two books. I certainly use other ones, but those are the ones that I have saved the quickest and I kind of take in the biggest account. So Michigan plus 3.5. Once again, it's just smart betting. You're going to want that field goal. I know that USC's offenses look good, but Michigan is more of a complete team, in my opinion. I think Michigan does more better as a whole unit than what USC does. I really do feel that USC is only favored. If this game was in Michigan, I think is favored. I think USC is only favored because they're at home, because USC really does play pretty well at home. I talked about, was a couple weeks ago, we were on the Purdue plus 6.5 or something first quarter, which we barely hit, but USC does start slow when they're elsewhere. So I'm sure USC does put up some points. Michigan has a good defense. I think that Michigan with Underwood, the guy's a star in the making. I think he's learning. I think he's evolving. I think he's slowly starting to get better. So we can limit some mistakes, and he busts a run or he makes some good plays. I think this is a tight game. And I think Michigan is able to scare USC late, and hopefully it's a late field goal kind of winner. Hopefully it's not a late touchdown that pushes it to like a 4-point win, obviously, and now they have to score instead of kick kind of deal. But plus 3.5, smartest play in a sense in this game. If you're going to take the spread, don't take that 2.5. It is silly. I do feel Michigan win the game, but you got to take 3.5 when you are asking for points. You got to make sure you have that key number. If I'm going to run a builder, hint, I'm definitely going to get 7.5 or 10.5 in this game, just to, for safety. But yeah, and I forgot to mention before. My voice squeaked a little bit there. Forgot to mention before I gave that out. Now is certainly the time. If you guys have any additional questions about any certain games or anything like that, I'll let Ty give out his dogs here. So we've got, I don't know, like 40 or 50 people watching live on YouTube. There's people watching on Twitter X as well. So go ahead in the comments. I can pull up the questions or whatever here for you. Look at any games you guys have, as I'm sure between the two of us have looked at every game and kind of formulated our best thoughts. But Ty, you got 3 of them, and I think you've leaned into what a couple could be.
Yeah. Look, there's not too many dogs I feel great about. So you're going to look at these and you're like, these aren't even really dogs. And you're sort of right. Because, some of them are like minus 105, minus 102. But they are plus on the spread, right? So we're going to go Mizzou. Kansas State owes us money. They covered for us last week on this show. That was the one play that I think hit. There might have been another. But Kansas State money line. And unfortunately, I'm going to go with Texas money line. I don't know if John Mateer is playing or not. He has a broken finger on his throwing hand. I don't see how he plays. And I know Texas has looked bad. Texas lost to a bad Florida team. But Oklahoma's without John Mateer. So if he's not in, it's got to be Texas money line. If he's good to go, which, again, this was based off of last night. I am not sure what's going on. I don't know if he's in or if he's out. As of right now, I'm operating underneath the information that he is not going to be playing. So I feel like Texas is the smarter play because of that. So it's Mizzou, Kansas State, Texas. I'm not even that excited about it because none of the dogs are big, so there's no knocking, no dogs at the door. You're deep in Google.
Yeah. Well, was trying to just do some. I searched his name on old X there, and everyone's still unsure.
Right. That's how it is. And you know what? Look, they have got to fix this. College football. I know we're not like some big show.
No one's paying attention to us.
Right. No one cares. But please do something. There needs to be some injury designations at some point, 24 hours before the game or something like that. There's too much money floating around. Yes, Mike, we are sniping them. I'm telling you, that is my plan today. That is the plan. There's not a whole lot I love pregame, so yeah, I'm locked in.
Was Oklahoma the favorite recently and has switched to Texas?
Has to be, yeah, 100%, and it's got to be all because of Mateer.
So I do feel if you want Texas money line, you take it now, because if Mateer is out, money's going to soar in on Texas. Whenever you find, at some point, there's going to be it's too big of a game for them to not announce it, even if it's 30 minutes beforehand. So, or you play with the fear of, if he takes a hit, he gets knocked out. Of course, nobody wants to see that, but it is an angle to bet if you're looking at, the money line.
Well, what's crazy is this is not like a, I don't know, like bruised thigh or something. I don't know, something that maybe you could play with. Yeah. This is a broken finger on his throwing hand
that he had surgery on.
Right. I just don't see how he goes out there and plays.
17 days ago, I think I saw.
And if he does, I don't see how he goes out there and he's like serviceable to like toss the ball around. Now he is dangerous with his feet, but look, they're having such a good season. Like, do you even risk putting him out there? Why? To Texas, who's already lost to Florida? Like, I don't know. I don't see a point in him playing. So I'm just gonna roll. Most likely, this guy's not gonna play. And even if he does, he's just not. We're talking about injured throwing hand. Like, he's not fully serviceable. So again, this is just a little dogs, whatever you want to do. I always give 3 out, and I'm just going to try and take advantage of an injured quarterback, unfortunately.
So I really struggle with that TCU Kansas. I looked at it for a while. TCU is another darling team of mine, and that's a tough game.
Yeah, so the reason why I took it is because they're at home, right? And ever since they got Dylan Edwards back, they've shown up all of a sudden now, right? Now the running game's, kicking off. They're playing well. And look, they should have won last week. And they didn't. So that's why I like Kansas State.
Miles, that is definitely my cousin.
He doesn't even look old enough.
Notre Dame.
He doesn't even look old enough to gamble.
No, I don't think he is.
Miles, come on, man.
Of course, I look like I'm just old. So like these cousins that I used to remember as children are probably in college, maybe now. I can't remember. I was trying to pull up. It's an old photo.
You got so much hair and you don't. If you guys are related,
that doesn't matter.
Okay, that kid's got great.
I'm trying to find I'm trying to find the team total. If I'm going to bet on Notre Dame, it's going to be the team total. I think 23.5 is probably a high number for an offense that hasn't looked fantastic and a defense that hasn't been also great. 41.5 is also pretty dang high. But Notre Dame team totals I think have been pouring in. As a Notre Dame fan, I'm not interested. I think they win, but you can't bet that. I don't know if there's anything you can bet on it, unfortunately, unless you take the 23.5 because it's under a key number of 24. But of course, I'd rather have it 20.5.
Okay, we can get to Trent. Then I don't have a play on that game.
Me either. I didn't even look at it, to be honest. Trent, I'm sorry, but I would say, just from what I know of them, Maryland is a stronger offensive team. Nebraska's got a good defense, but they don't have a lot of offense. I don't even know what the line is. I'm trying to find it. Oh, Maryland's a dog, huh?
What's the line?
6.5 at home.
They get 7.5. Call it a day.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you're gonna if you're gonna do it, or you want a leg or something, put up the 10.5, put something with it.
All right, so these are both the same team, same game right here. It's with Cheeto and Boone.
Boone.
All right, so Cheeto, I'm staying away from Kansas today. Texas Tech's defense is the real deal. Here's what happened: a guy that deals with oil came in and paid a ton of money for a bunch of really great players to come there and play out football. So I'm not touching anything that has to go against this Texas Tech team. Bune, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think Texas Tech covers 14.5. I would move it to 13.5. That defense is just too damn good. And I don't know, Kansas, I'm not going to say that they had like a tough game last week, but they did have a tough game. They played UCF, and UCF was pressing towards the end there, and they had to come up with like multiple stops on the 1 yard line, and they did. The UCF offensive line is atrocious. So I like Texas Tech.
Ty likes Missouri. I like points in the whole game.
And I like Mizzou's team total.
Yeah.
So I gave out
so it all kind of right.
Well, and I gave out 3.
Total, so, yeah.
Auburn +3. I like Georgia in that game.
I feel like I remember last year betting the first half under in Georgia and Auburn, and it was sweaty, but I think it came in because Georgia unders in the first half were like a thing. Not something I've really paid attention to this time around, but
yeah, I like, again, at 3.5. I don't know if I would take that. I'd move it to 2.5, like I always do. But I like Georgia in that game.
Very short favorite. -180 on the money line. It's not.
Yeah, I know. I think Georgia's the way to roll there.
Something to think about for later.
Yep.
That's small enough. You can do like a Georgia +7.5 and like a. Well, I mean that's just the way I bet, but
yeah.
All right, we're gonna pull up this recap screen here. Where's that? Here it is. This background is different from you screwing with it, I think. All right. Recap.
Yeah,
my recap. Got Alabama, Missouri over. Oklahoma versus Texas over 44.5. Although, like, I suppose if you're going to bet that as a straight or not put it in something, we wait for Mateer. If he's out, I feel Texas is probably the good transition, but for the sake of the show, we're definitely going to lock that in. Tennessee first half -6.5. I actually kind of fell in love with that as we were kind of talking about it. Oregon versus IU -6.5. Michigan versus USC. Michigan +3.5. Those notes kind of sucked. I looked the same. No, anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going Mizzou +3.5. I like their team total also. And we're going to go to Arkansas team total over 27.5. UNLV team total over 35.5, unless you can find it 34.5, which they said, I think, bet 365 and FanDuel. Penn State -20.5. They have to cover or they've lost me, which, I mean, they already did, but this time I'm walking away and I mean it. Michigan versus USC over 55.5. And the dog money line is Mizzou, Kansas State, and Texas. Texas all hinges on John Mateer, though. Remember that. So if you see John Mateer is playing, don't take it. Well, maybe take it. I don't know. I just don't see how he plays with the finger.
The fact that the books have like all his stuff listed, like it's like normally they would just not post it if they're unsure.
So here's what I think. I think he's probably like, no, I am playing. This is the biggest like rivalry, right? And I don't know that that's probably the best thing that they should do as a team. But if I was him, I'd feel the same exact way. I'd want to go out there and play. But what are you playing for? Are you playing for games against Texas or are you playing for national championships? Which one is it?
Right. Yeah, that's true. That makes sense for sure.
Yep, that's the background I had last week. Yep, that's the one.
I saw it.
Because these 2 boxes wouldn't disappear.
Yeah, you go to like media and then just I don't know. Teach you later. All right. Questions have slowed down. We've going for 45 minutes. I actually have 0 plays out. So pay attention to social media here on mine. I'm sure I put some out, and then I've got to get some stuff in the Discord. Got an hour and 15 minutes to do all that. So I appreciate you guys for showing up. Still looking for that coveted 10-0 sweep here. So hopefully we have ourselves a good week here. And Ty, you got anything else?
No, like I said, trends. I'm a trend guy. Been bad, been good. Been bad, been good. Was bad yesterday. So if we're going off of trends in October, it can only mean one thing.
Gonna be good.
Gotta
Hopefully
be.
me too. All right, appreciate you guys. Let's Friday Night Lights, and we'll see you guys next week.